Hold up, faithful. Hold up. The draft smoke is getting thick around the 49ers. KC, Concepcion, edge rushers, O-line talk. But who are they really targeting at pick 27? Who? Drop smokescreen or real in the chat right now. What do you guys believe? Is this a smokescreen? Is this real? Where are the Niners going to go at pick 27? On today's episode of the Wayne Breezie Show, we're going to discuss what the smokescreen is all about. We're going to break stuff down when it comes to how Kyle Shanahan is probably going to address the draft at pick 27. We all know it starts in free agency, but the draft is approaching. The NFL Combine is underway very shortly, and we got some players and prospects that we gonna dive deep into. So get ready, everybody. Shout out to the Breezie Bunch crew. And thank everybody for joining the Wayne Breezie Show. I always like to start my show off with some early shout outs. Those that are in the building early, the members of the crew, Edward Austin in the building, Boats in the building. What's going on? Don't bother me in the building as well. All right. Now, look, throughout this season, throughout this offseason, we're going to have some mock trades, all that type of stuff that we can kind of dig and dive into and things like that. But when it comes down to what the Niners at pick 27, I don't know if I like this pick. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this pick, because if everybody is screaming get offensive linemen, I don't know if I'm willing, unless there are a select few, like 3 offensive linemen. You got Caden Proctor from Alabama, I think is just going to be a pro tackle at some point in the NFL. If he falls to 27, the guard Vega from Penn State, he's probably my number 1 guard in this draft. If he falls to pick 27, I can see the Niners going offensive lineman right there. But it's going to be really interesting to see what the San Francisco 49ers do at pick 27. It truly is. It truly is. But I tell you what, we got a whole show prepped for you, live, ready to go. Let's get down to some 49er rumors. Now, I know 2 weeks ago I did a show about Deebo Samuel, and I got thrashed and slashed and crashed and bashed. But what's funny is now you got the NFL analysts out here that are, pretty, I would say, a little further ahead in their career than I am. They got more clout. They got more sources. They're the people. Greg Rosenthal, he came out and said Deebo Samuel returned on a 2-year, $12 million contract. He feels like the market for Deebo isn't going to be really great. He's not going to have anywhere else to really go. And we talked about bringing Deebo Samuel back, not for speed, not for as a true wide receiver, literally for the mentality. I really tried to do a great job on the show breaking down why Deebo Samuel, if it wasn't a show, it was a reel. Go check it out. Why Deebo Samuel makes sense coming back to the Bay. I think if it's a 2-year, $12 million deal, I mean, that's not a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? That's not a lot of money. So you kind of like let it rock, right? You bring them back. You have a weapon. That does not mean you don't draft a weapon. We're going to talk about KC Concepcion in a few seconds. All right, so hang on. We got a super chat contribution that we want to get to right here live on the show. Jack Knox, traveling. Hope all is well. Enjoyed the great show. Listen, safe travels, Godspeed, all that good stuff. Get to where you got to go safely. That's important. Thank you so much, Jax, for the super chat. We truly appreciate that. All right, now look, let's talk about this Deebo Samuel thing. It's just a rumor. It's nothing speculating. It's just speculating, actually. It's nothing really creating a buzz. But I can see Kyle Shanahan going back to who he knows, and what works. This does not mean you're going to make Deebo Samuel your wide back. Remember, we had that. But that doesn't mean that the option won't be there. It doesn't mean that. The whole purpose of having Deebo Samuel here is so that the defenses have to account for another weapon. Just keep it in the back of your mindset. If it's a cheap deal, I say rock out with it. If it's not a cheap deal, then you got to let it rock. Great 1765 just became a member of the channel, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I feel like you've been a member, but welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. back. All right. Hey, we got a Deebo supporter, John Swanson, and a member of the Breezie Bunch crew. Get Deebo back in a 49er uniform. Uh-oh. Oscar, what up, baby? I see you out there, man, putting out that good draft content, bro. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Marty Marr, 38,000 miles, 38,105 miles. Feel like I'm about to sing the song to rent. 525,600 minutes. I feel like that. The night is going to be some traveling motherfuckers this year, man. It's going to be crazy. It's definitely going to be crazy. Oscar, I'm going to save your draft stuff for a little bit later on in the show. So those are the Deebo Samuel rumors that are going on right now. Greg Rosenthal put this out there. And I can see it happening, especially if it's a good deal, incentive-based. Would you rather have Juwan Jennings here on a 3-year and you're paying him $20 million a year, or a guy like Deebo Samuel where you're only paying $6 million a year? I mean, that's the question. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. All right, let me know what you think in the chat. Let's get to some 49ers news. 49ers sign offensive lineman Nick Zakelj. Let's drop the bomb on him because the Niners are doing what you asked them to do. You asked them to address the offensive line, and the San Francisco 49ers have addressed the offensive line with not one piece, but two pieces. They signed Austin Pleasance to a 1-year deal, and now they're signing Nick Zakelj to a 1-year extension. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know, man. This dude didn't play really too many offensive snaps in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this past season, I mean, he was out there, but it was like a non-mother-freaking factor in my opinion. But, hey, the Niners are building depth. I think that's what's most important. Also, the 49ers will play a home game in Mexico City. It's been confirmed against one of these three teams, right? The Rams, the Cardinals, or the Dolphins. Which team do you want the 49ers to face? Now, this is going to be a home game, all right? I saw something on Twitter the other day where one of content creator said that the Niners took care of him for this home game and kind of like reimbursed him for this particular game that's not going to be at Levi Stadium. I guess he was a season ticket holder, but I think that's pretty dope. Shout out to the Niners crew organization for doing their due diligence by that. But the Niners will be traveling to Mexico City to play a home game in Mexico City. And I want to know what you guys think, man. Like, which one of these three teams? Now, the Niners are already playing or opening up the season against the Rams in Australia. Will they get the Rams again in Mexico City? Really? So that means the Australia game will be an away game, and then the Mexico City game, if it's the Rams, will be a home game. I don't know how I feel about playing the Rams. It's like they don't take away the Levi South. Don't take away that extra. Don't take that away from the Niners, man. They love it. You know what I'm saying? They love it. They love it a lot. Brandy, what's going on? Hey, Breezie and Faithful. Cinnamon Kiss in the building. I can't wait for Australia and Mexico City. Let's go. Let's go. I actually want to play the Dolphins because I just want to secure a win. I don't think the Dolphins going to be good for a long time. Shout out to my uncle, Ralph. Hey, man, your team is your team, but I don't even know who's going to be their quarterback this year. They just got rid of everybody pretty much. No Bradley Chubb, no Tyreek Hill. I mean, they're looking to trade. They might be looking to trade Jaden Waddle. Minka Fitzpatrick sounds like he's on the trade block. I mean, give me the Dolphins. That's who I want. I want the Dolphins if I had to pick out of these three teams. The Cardinals, and I hear you. The Cardinals, in my opinion, I don't know. They got a new coach, but I like their defense. I don't want to play, personally, I don't want to play a rival team. I don't want to play a divisional game. I'm tired. I mean, and I know we play the Cardinals usually. I know we usually play the Cardinals. I do. I know we usually play the Cardinals, but I just don't want to play another freaking divisional game across seas. You know what I'm saying? Oscar, based on the 49ers having 9 home games and being designated the home team, it's the Raiders or the Dolphins. Both have 9 away games. Now, I like the way you said this, but I think the report confirmed that it won't be the Raiders and it won't be the Broncos. So I think it's going to be the Dolphins, the Rams, or the Cardinals, according to the report that I read. So who knows, man? But thank you for the take. Appreciate you, bruv. You know what I'm saying? I got a question out there. I'm going to say questions to the end of the show, if you don't mind. All right. Now, last time we were in Mexico City, we played the Cardinals. So, it is what it is. Give me the Cardinals. We beat up on them. We could beat up on them again. You dig? Now, speaking of traveling, let's get down to this because the 49ers, 38,105 miles this season with 2 trips out of the country in Australia and Mexico. And then they got to travel to the East Coast a couple of times, which is switching time zones, 3 time zones, right? You're switching time zones. So they got to play in Atlanta and they got to play in New York. So the Niners are logging their frequent flyer miles for sure this season. You know what I'm saying? Like if you had the Delta Sky Miles, this is the year where you get your Sky Miles in and then you fly for free after this year. Like this is the year. If you're going to travel faithful, this is the year. Why? Get them Sky Miles in, get your points, whatever, and then you should be free to go. I better be platinum medallion status after this upcoming season because Australia and Mexico City, woo, we're going to Melbourne and then we're going to Mexico City. I'm already tired and I ain't even get on the airplane yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired and I ain't even get on the airplane yet. All right. So look, that's a lot of miles and this could affect the team. Nobody's talking about this, and I got something that I got to present a little bit later on Bleacher Report. But this could affect the team in several ways. That travel was crazy. Okay, and we're a speed team too. We like to move fast. We like to do this. That travel could be crazy. So just keep that in mind. 49ers begin contract negotiations with kicker Eddie Pinheiro, according to at 49ers Sports Talk. So Eddie Pinheiro, which is one of the free agents that the 49ers need to definitely sign now. If they didn't place a tag on him, if they did, I think the tag was only going to be about $6 million. If I was the Niners, I would have just placed the tag. But since they're already in contract negotiations with Eddie P, this is good because now the San Francisco 49ers will have their kicker ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Have their kicker ready to go. Coming into camp, no competition. He already know he got the job. He done proved it. I felt like, in my opinion, Eddie Pinheiro has proved that he can be the kicker for the long haul for the San Francisco 49ers. There should be no competition whatsoever for Eddie. Get this man a job. Sign him to a 2-3 year extension and keep it moving. Not sure what that's going to look like, but that's what I would do if I'm the San Francisco 49ers. I see Peachy in the chat. What's going on, Peachy? And that's what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what they need to do. They need to find a way to, solidify that, have their kicker, and that way you don't have to worry about, like, give Brant Boyer, got to get a punter too. That's another thing. But give Brant Boyer the icing on the cake. Give him Eddie P. We got another Super Chat contribution. Shout out to the Super Chat contributions. They help support the stream, and especially during the off season. Definitely appreciate you guys. Silent. He says, why are teams so desperate to throw money at prima donnas like wide receivers? The smart money is in the O-line. They'll make everything better. Also, this is my dog, Zachariah Branch equals Tyreek Hill. Now, when you guys pay for takes like this, y'all got to give me a second to really sit there, analyze, and break it down because this is a good take. This is a good take. I'm not just reading the comment right here. All right, part 1. Why are teams so desperate to throw money at prima donnas like wide receivers? All right, hear me out. Depending on the type of wide receiver you are, okay? If you're an X guy, that's important. Most teams, there are 4 positions or 3 positions, and I 3 to 4 positions that you're going to probably secure and overpay. Number 1, the quarterback. Number 2, the tackle, the left tackle predominantly. Number 3, your edge rusher, your premier edge rusher. And number 4, it can teeter between a lockdown corner, man corner, right? Or a prima donna type of wide receiver. Now, when we're talking prima donna, I'm factoring in the fact that they can create separation, they can run routes well, they catch the ball well. There's so many things that come into that factor. I know people don't like talking about Brandon Ayuk, and that's fine, but this is my show. Brandon Ayuk, prima donna, was him, but he was a guy that did all of that. He ran really good routes, and he created separation. And you know what he did? He forced the defenses to play honest. So when you get those type of wide receivers, it's kind of hard to pass them up. But when you got to pay, your top tier offensive lineman, your tackle, your edge, your quarterback. When you're paying all those guys at the same time, some teams just don't have the luxury to pay that wide receiver. So like the 49ers, you just got to find guys that could come in here and fit. Now, I think that the offensive line was a problem. I think the offensive line still needs to be upgraded. But let's be clear. Let's not shit on the offensive line that only gave up probably 30 sacks, if I'm not mistaken. I think Brock Purdy was sacked 11 times, and what's the other guy? Mac Jones sacked maybe 15, 16 times. That's 27 sacks. That's not a lot compared to quarterbacks that were sacked damn near 50 times. Like two quarterbacks 30 times, under 30 times, where there's the top quarterback in the league. Drake May was sacked over 45 times. Guess where he went? He went to the Super Bowl. Didn't win it, but went to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I agree the offensive line needs to be fixed, but I think there's specific pieces. And the hardest part about fixing the offensive line in free agency is guys becoming available. And then finding guys that actually fit your system. I think when it comes to offensive linemen, you got to draft the guys. You got to find the guys that fit. That's a fit thing, because the way the Niners like to move, I'm just not a firm believer in Kyle Shanahan valuing the offensive line like like most teams do, because he is a get the ball out of your hand quick type of coordinator where everything is based off of speed and timing. Now, offensive line will allow a better offensive line will allow Brock Purdy to hold on to the ball at least 1 second longer. But even if he's holding on to that ball 1 second longer, right? And I'm asking a hypothetical. This is to anybody out there watching the live show. Even if he is, and there's nobody open, what is Brock gonna do? Run? So it's like the receiver, you need the you don't need a prima donna. You need a wide receiver that can create separation and run routes well. I know that's not Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel is a mentality type based wide receiver. He's a guy where you get the ball in his hands quick. Now, you talked about Zachariah Branch equaling Tyreek Hill. Yes, the speed is there, man. This dude's going to run like a 4.3. It's going to run a 4.3. It's going to run a 4.3. I can tell you that right now. It's 4.34, 4.35, 4.33. He's going to run fast. And what I like about Zachariah Branch, I have him as one of my top 10 wide receivers. And if you are a member of the Breezie Bunch crew, the list, there's a post that is only for members only, where you can click on that list right here on the YouTube channel. All right. If you're a member, as well as a member of the Patreon, and all you got to do is give your email address and I'll give you access to my list. Zachariah Branch is on that list. And what I like about Zachariah Branch is not just his speed, it's his ability. He's twitchy, he's shifty, he's fast, he runs good routes, he has great hands. And that right there is going to probably separate him. But when he runs a 4.3, sub 4.3, maybe he's going to run into 4.3s. Golly, he's going to go up to, he's going to bump up in these wide receivers. So I do think Zachariah Branch is a Tyreek Hill-esque type of a player. I truly do. Speed, get lost in the sauce, wide open down the football field. He's a burner. So great super chat, man. I hope I didn't take too much time to break that down. But again, Eddie Pinero is going to be back. Let's talk about this really quickly. 49ers players in the top 101 of PFF. Now, I know a lot of people don't like PFF, and that's fine. That's fair. But they do their own rankings. You know, Brock Purdy, 81. Congratulations to all these players. We'll do the round of applause at the end. Brock Purdy, 81. Colt McKivitz, 63. Right tackle, Colt McKivitz, 63. So sounds like the Niners got their bookends down pat. Christian McCaffrey, 54. George Kittle, 27. And so far, the only player that's cracked the top 20 is the oldest player on the team, 37-year-old Trent Williams, left tackle. You just got to give him a round of applause at 37. And some people feel like he didn't even have his best season this year. Top 20 player, graded, ranked from PFF. Man, you could take the PFF stuff with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? And that depends how you want to look at it. But the data is the data that they go off of, and you can either utilize it or you can't. It's totally up to you. Miss Peachy Brown, what's going on? Good afternoon, Breezie, and everyone. Have a wonderful show. Thanks for being here. again, shout out to all the members. All right, let me know, man. Are any of these guys ranked too low? Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey. I feel like Christian McCaffrey should have been top 20. I feel like Christian McCaffrey. He was damn near offensive player of the year. He was actually nominated for offensive. Matter of fact, he lost offensive player of the year by like 4 votes or something like that. I just feel like Christian McCaffrey should have been a top 20 player. And I understand that rushing wise, he wasn't it. He wasn't him in the rushing category. Listen, he had over 1,000 rushing yards if you add in the playoff games, but he had 900 rushing yards. This dude almost had 1,000 rushing yards in the regular season. He had over 1,000 receiving yards. You had a guy that had over 2,000 yards again in his career, with the playoffs included. It's just weird how he's number 54. Speaking of 54, will 54 make this list? He did play for a good portion of the season. And Fred Warner, but didn't finish out the season due to the injury, so we'll see what happens. I just feel like out of all the people on that list, good morning, Felicia, that Christian McCaffrey should have been a little bit higher. Like where they placed George Kittle, I still think George Kittle is the best tight end in the league, overall tight end, complete tight end. I know he's an older player, but when he's healthy, man, good luck. You know what I'm saying? When he's healthy, man, good luck. All right, good luck. And so that's what it comes down to. And then, like I said, Trent Williams at number 20. And we'll see if there are any more Niner players. The only other player I think that could make this list would be Fred Warner, right? I think this might be it, I think this might be it. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see what happens. But those are so far, your 49ers top 101 players based off of PFF. All right, guys, let's kick it in. Let's talk about this KC Concepcion buzz, because this week you had KC Concepcion being mock draft to the San Francisco 49ers from Field Yates, respected draft analyst out there from ESPN, and he mock draft KC Concepcion. And so listen, I got a reel out. I did a short show segment out on this kid. Check those out, man. Listen, I don't put videos out or post videos out just for funs and shits and giggles, man. I actually do my homework. So check them out, man. Make sure those views get up on that video. It's right here on the YouTube channel. Check it out. I kind of give you the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes down to a player like this. But when you look at KC Concepcion, man, this kid, he has the traits of being a weapon. He's not that wide receiver that everybody feels like he runs good routes. They're not great. He's a good separator. He's not a great separator. And he's had over, I would say, he had seven. He's had several drops over his collegiate career. He does drop the ball a little bit. Last season, he had over almost 900 yards. He had 9 touchdowns last season. And the thing about him is he's a weapon, right? So he's a guy that can be utilized all over the football field. He can play the X, he can play the Y, he can play the Z. However you choose to use him, he runs decent routes. But if you think about when it comes down to KC Concepcion, like, I have him as a top 10 receiver. I think he's my number 5 on the board, on my receiving board. I just feel like the Niners can go a different route. I think they need to get a true X. That's just my personal opinion. But I do like the fit he would bring to the San Francisco 49ers. If you're looking at KC Concepcion, wide receiver out of Texas A&M, I think he'd be fine. You know what I'm saying? Did I say the rushing yards wrong? My apologies. I meant to say he had over 1,000 rushing yards and close to 1,000 receiving yards. So my apologies on that. You are 100% correct. But in the playoffs, it was 1,000, thousands, the thousands. So the 2,000 yards was there. So thank you for the correction. My apologies. And you even corrected yourself, Mr. Swanson. Appreciate you. But listen, I just there are tons of draft prospects out there at the wide receiver position. And if you are a fan, of this particular player, he's a great player. Like, let's not get it twisted. And let me just check my sheet. And you know what I could do? I could share the screen on this sheet so you guys can see what it looks like. Offensive prospects. All right, so let me get this screen share popping up. Let's do it like this. Do it like this. Do it like this. Do it like this. And let me know what you guys think, man, when it comes to the wide receiver, because the show is called Smokescreen. Do you feel like the Niners are putting out there like, oh, yeah, we're going to target a wide receiver? Do you think that's smoke? Or do you think that's something that can really happen? Because we're going to look at Kyle Shanahan's track record when it comes to just drafting overall at that position. All right, that's key for me. All right, so this is what my data kind of like looks like, and you can see I got it broke down to quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. And so Casey Concepcion, I have him as a big slot guy up here. He's 5'11", 190 pounds. I said he's a crafty slot yak specialist. And you want, if you're bringing yak back, let's just say, I think yak has been missing from Kyle Shanahan's offense. I think the year Deebo slowed down and they were forcing the ball to Deebo Samuel, they're trying to get him to be this, you just lost yak to me. Like too many injuries, yak disappeared. But this is a guy you want to get the ball in his hands quickly in space, right? Quickly and give him that space. And so if you go over, here's his stats. These are regular season stats. These aren't the All-Star or the playoff games that they played in. So I know he had 900 yards, but this is what he did in the regular season. I give you the PFF grade. I give you the 40-yard. He's probably a 4 or 5 guy. I said he's as elite contested. Wait, am I on the right guy? Nope, wrong guy. 4 guy, excuse me. Create separation with great route running, elusive after the catch. I think that's important right there. And he's versatile inside or out. Because I told you can line him up outside, you can line him up in the slot. That's the key to this guy right here. And here are my weaknesses. His contested catch issues versus bigger DBs. And when you look at the DBs that were playing, Seattle's got big DBs. I think the Rams DBs are right. And then the Cardinals, I think, got the best DBs in the NFC West. I just truly think that's what they got. And then the average long speed will affect his vertical. My comp for him is Kayshon Boutte out of New England. Games he show up, games he'll have 3 touchdowns per game, and then games he'll have 0 touchdowns per game. Like, that's what you're going to get. I have him as a first-round guy. Best team fits, Bucks, Vikings, Steelers. So that's kind of what the data looks like. If you're a member, you all you got to do is click on the link, and then bada boom, bada bing. And I have this for every position. Some stuff I'm still filling in, but I wanted you to have the preface of everything that I'm doing when it comes to these players. These are my top 10 offensive prospects per position, as well as defensive prospects per position. So you guys can get a kind of, a feel of what I'm doing out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't hear from me, oh, Breezie in the lab. He creating. You know what I'm saying? But again, like the KC Concepcion buzz, is this smoke? Is this a smoke screen? Is this something real? Do you feel like if the Niners go wide receiver, is he that target? Are they looking to replace the yak? Does he fit Shanahan? That's the question, right? And the reason why a lot of analysts are connecting him is because the one key piece that's missing from the Niners offense is yak. We just haven't had. Remember one year, everybody, we had the yak bros. When the last time we used that terminology? When's the last time we used the yak bros terminology? It's been a minute. It's been a minute. It's been a long minute. It truly has. Shout out to everybody on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and X. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel as well. But as far as him fitting the Shanahan system, he fits it perfectly, right? This is a guy that can create separation, that can run pretty good routes. And if you give him the ball, he's going to make a play. He's going to make a play. And I think that's kind of what makes this buzz a little bit believable. You're going to start to see a lot of these analysts start looking at weapons. They feel like we know that the offensive line needs to be upgraded. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know that. But we know we need to upgrade the offensive line. I feel like Kyle Shanahan is looking at us like, we need to just shut up. I think, and Niner Faithful, you said something, Purdy's looking downfield toward passes. He is looking to get the explosive play, but I think it's because he lacks the element of getting the ball to the guy quick. When Deebo Samuel's last season here, remember I kept saying, why are we using Deebo wrong? And it was because Jawan Jennings was unhealthy at times. Jawan Jennings that season became the 49ers X wide receiver. And remember that one time we gave Deebo like the 1 yard screen pass and he took it to the house? That's how you use Deebo. That's kind of like how you're going to probably use KC Concepcion. The difference between those two guys, though, is the mentality. Like, KC's probably not going to be looking for contact, whereas Deebo was looking for the contact. So it was a little, a little off. But you know what I'm saying? So guys, let me know, man. Is this KC Concepcion to San Francisco? Is this real or is this a smokescreen? Let me know what you guys think. That's important. All right. That's hell of important. Hell of important. Is this real? Is it a smokescreen? Check out the video on KC Concepcion that I did, as well as the real, it's a little shorter version of the video. So check it out. They're different, right? I didn't just copy, paste, click. No, I recorded different things, but check them out. All right, let's talk about the edge wild card, because this right here, for me, is where the Niners need to look. I feel like they need the edge. Now, again, we don't know what they're going to do in free agency, right? We don't. Will they address the edge in free agency? There's a possibility. Will they address the offensive line of free agency? These are all possibilities. But again, the Niners always address the edge position, but it's really for rotational pieces. I know last year we drafted Mykel Williams. The Niners last year in the draft focused on the defensive front. All right. They drafted Mykel Williams with the 11th pick. They drafted Alfred Collins with the 43rd pick. They drafted C.J. West with the 113th pick. So 3 picks last year went to the offensive line. Never mind the undrafted guys like Sebastian Valdez and those guys. Like, they definitely were looking to build the rotation on the defensive front, the trenches. That's what we call them. I'm a firm believer that games are won and lost in the trenches, offensively and defensively. Here's why edge makes sense, though. All right, I want the Niners to go after a guy like Bradley Chubb. Now, there's tons of guys. Don't get it twisted. There's tons. I like Boye Mafe. I like Hassan Reddick. I want speed. We talked about Niners getting speed off the edge. The question is, a lot of these players are a lot older, so they're looking for that younger speed. I think if you're going to go young and they want speed, you got to go draft. You got to go with the draft. There are 2 edge rushers that I haven't talked much about that are high on my list. One of them might not have cracked my top 10, but he's definitely in my top 15. All right. And there's 2 guys I think would provide that speed element from the draft perspective. Number 1, Derek Moore out of Michigan. Derek Moore out of Michigan. I think he would bring what the Niners need as a pass rusher. He's still good and stout against the run, but as a pass rusher, his rush win rate is definitely above 20%. And I'm looking at players with 20% or above. And it's slightly under. I apologize. It's slightly under. It's like 19.9%. I'll take it. I'll take it. Why? Because this dude can win off the edge. And another guy is Nadame Tucker out of Western Michigan. Yep, I went to Michigan. I went to Michigan and Western Michigan. These are guys who, and I think you give him a little bit later, depending on how well he tests. But, man, he had like a 28% pass rush run rate. Like, these are players that the Niners just need on their roster. Like, why not get guys that are proven to do certain things? What did the Niners like about Mykel Williams? They liked his versatility and his ability to set the edge, correct? That's what they liked. They liked his versatility, his ability to set the edge. The fact that they can line him up inside, they can line him up outside. Literally, they were replacing Eric Armstead, in my opinion. That would be my comp. That's who they were looking to. They were looking to replace an Eric Armstead, a guy with length, a guy that can set the edge on the outside, but that can rush from the inside, stop the run defender, edge setter, right? Right. Boom. That's what they were looking. All right. Now, Derek Moore, he is 6'3", 260. He had 19 tackles, 9.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I'm looking at my data chart. All right. His 40 time is probably going to be slow, but that ain't how he plays out. Nope, that's Zion Moore. I don't have his projected 40 as of right now, but I'll have that pretty much soon. Run defense, stacks blockers, sheds with violence, plays physical with a nasty streak. I don't know why the Niners don't look at the Michigan defensive guys, because those are the guys that play. They That's what's kept Michigan afloat for the past 3 years. It was the defense that won that championship, even though Blake Corum and the offense, we just ran the ball hella well, right? Offensive line, defense. Those are the players you want to target from Michigan, not their receivers. Maybe they running backs, but defense. That's what I will focus on. The burst is there. He's a Chris Kocurek type of a dude. Who was my comp for Derek Moore? Oh, Jonah Ellis. And I think you can get him in the second round. It's not a first round guy. So at pick 56, I think that's what we're picking. This is a guy you can get. I think the Niners need to find a way. I say sign a free agent and on the edge, as well as sign a mother freaking, as well as draft a fire-based edge rusher out there, man. A young kid. Because if the Niners' goal and plan is to get younger and faster, well, you get younger in the draft. You find skilled players depending on the amount of money that you got. You find those skilled players to help you, compete and things like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. I see some comments in the chat. I see some names out there. I want to talk about some of those names that I see. All right. Now, I think that the San Francisco 49ers address the edge and free agency. Who is that going to be? I don't know, but I'm high on Boye Mafe. I'm going to scream that name from the mountaintops. All right. Edward Alston, what's going on, baby? Says Hakeem Messidor, edge out of Miami. I know Ruben Bain is their number one edge rusher, which I don't know how, because I like Hakeem better. I feel like Ruben Bain Jr. is your prototypical edge setter, and I get it, but I like the versatility from Hakeem. I feel like he can rush the passer a lot better. Here's the only knock on Hakeem: age. And I don't know why that's a knock. The dude is 25 years old. He's going to be 25 years old soon. And so I don't understand, other than the fact that he's only going to play on his rookie contract. So if you get him if he falls to round 2 and you get him in round 2 and he's a 4-year contract, so 25, so 29, you don't have to bring him back. You don't have to sign him again. Another team could take the risk on him, but you're getting a grown ass man at 25 years old that's proven he could beat up on guys. That's what he does. And then that's what I like. I just feel like he's got his grown man body. He's got his grown man strength. Now he just has to find his way in the NFL against these NFL offensive linemen. I like Hakeem. A lot of people don't. I like Hakeem. A lot of people don't. So you can take that however you want with a grain of salt. And there's tons of guys. I don't think he's going to fall to the second round, but that age may knock him down to the second round where he's an early second round pick. I have a first round grade on him based off of productivity and the things that he did in college. That's what I got. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, don't these names make more sense than any of the wide receivers that we talked about? I mean, like, if you had to pick between edge and wide receiver at pick 27, in the chat, drop it. Member or not, edge or wide receiver at pick 27. And don't give me that it depends on who falls. No. Which makes more sense for this team? Edge or wide receiver at 27? And that, to me, is the issue. Derek over on Facebook says edge. Hey, man. And again, the Niners can address each and every one of these positions. Okay? They can address Kali, edge. It just makes sense. Let me just, and you know what's crazy? Here's the crazy part. You ready? Edge, wide receiver, and the secondary, preferably cornerbacks, are the deepest in this draft class. So you don't have to reach. You could go get your guy. 9 times out of 10, your guy is going to be there. 9 times out of 10, your guy is going to be there. All right. Cinnamon Kiss in here says offensive tackle makes more sense at 27. Can I just give you a 2-minute soliloquy on this? And I slightly disagree. I think offensive line makes sense depending on who's there. I feel like when it comes to the offensive line, it's not the draft. So at 27, you're probably going to miss out on that surefire, day one starter. And I'm not saying you won't draft a guard in the first round. I just listen. If Vega is there at 27, he's not a tackle. He's a guard. I'm getting the guard. That he gives me the kid out of Notre Dame vibes that play for the Colts. Can't think of his name. He gives me those vibes. That's yes. Now you got your left guard, you got your right guard. You solidify the offensive line. There's not a center I would draft in the first round. And then as far as offensive tackles, I mean, Proctor is going to develop into that, but you got your tackles. So you're literally just taking a player and just sitting him on the bench until someone gets injured. So I don't think the Niners will waste a draft pick on an offensive tackle when your starting tackles are Trent Williams and Colton McKivitz, right? Two players in PFF's top 100, 63-20. So the tackles are fine. I don't think the Niners will do that. And they're not going to do that. I don't believe that they will do that. They can do that. I just don't believe that they will do that. So I don't know if offensive tackle Cinnamon Kiss is going to be the pick unless their guy slipped all the way down to 27. I don't believe that their guy will. And that to me is why. Now, that does not mean they don't address the tackle position in this draft. That does not mean that. That just doesn't. It just means they won't probably invest at 27. See, I'm a best player available type of person at this point. I think the Niners need to get more talented. They need to get better players. They need to get chess winning piece moves. That's what they need on this roster, in my opinion. So I'm not saying your tackle isn't it. I do like Freeland out of Georgia, but are you going to draft for the future when he's not going to get the opportunity to develop in year one? They kind of did that with Aaron Banks. That was a guard, though, and that was a second-round pick because we still had, oh, my gosh, Laken Tomlinson. I just don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if the Niners will do that. I don't know. I'm not saying they won't. Maybe things are going to change, but Proctor is a big dog, but that kid can block. I don't know how well Proctor would fit when it comes to the run game, but as far as pass protection, he is the guy. He's the guy. I truly believe it. I do. I truly believe it. You said if they went edge, Zion Young. Yeah, that's a big guy too. I think like 6'5", 3 some change. That's a big dude. I like. He's mean. I think his stock rose from the Senior Bowl for sure. That's the defensive edge out of Missouri. But I think the Niners, if they go edge in the first round, I need to see who's available. I can tell you the guys they probably won't go with, like the dude Keldrick. Is it Wilson? Keldrick Wilson. And there's another guy, I feel like Cassius Howell. I don't think they go with those guys because they got Mykel Williams, right? So those guys maybe have first round grades on them. I don't think they go with those dudes though. But they got to get some speed. They got to get younger and get speed off the edge. They got to get relentless guys. That's where they got to go. Now, if we're not going to talk about defensive tackles here, but if Peter Woods did slip to 27, I'm drafting a defensive tackle. I'm sorry. I'm stopping the run. Yep, I'm stopping the run. I don't care if I got Alfred Collins and CJ West. I'm going to get Peter Woods. I'm going to get the meanest motherfucker in the draft, and that's Peter Woods. He's the meanest motherfucker in the draft. He truly is. That's what I want. Stop the run. You know what I'm saying? Stop the run. That's key. So just look. If they go offensive line, we gonna celebrate. If they don't go offensive line, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay if they don't go offensive line. It's okay. All right, it's okay. They will address it. All right, they will address it. Now, what does Shanahan history tell us about? What Shanahan history tells us about the 49ers when it comes to that first round pick, man. It's tough, and so we're gonna look at it. You know what I'm saying? We not even gonna bumble and stumble over it, man. We literally gonna look at what Kyle Shanahan has done at the wide receiving position and where he gets guys and stuff like that. So let's just have some fun with this particular segment right here, and let's just see what we got when it comes to Kyle Shanahan and these picks. All right, now we got to go back to 2017. You know what's crazy? In 2017, Kyle Shanahan only drafted one wide receiver. That was Trent Taylor. That blew my mind. Am I right? Trent Taylor in the 5th round. Not play. Trent Taylor was supposed to be a weapon, right? Wasn't typically that type of wide receiver. But you know what Trent Taylor did? He ran good routes. He had the whip route down pack. I'm not going to lie. Felt like that whip was action. Like, it was perfect. He just couldn't stay healthy, right? All right, so now we go to 2018, his second year here. You get Richie James. Let's start at the beginning. 2nd round pick, Dante Pettis. All right, and then Richie James. So he drafted, he doubled up. He got a 7th round pick and a 2nd round pick. He spent on a wide receiver, pick 44. All right, the Niners are at pick 50-something in this draft. But pick 44, he went wide receiver. I feel like Kyle Shanahan has addressed the wide receiving position in the 2nd round twice in his tenure. But let's just see where we are. All right, 2019, Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hurd. He doubled up on wide receivers again. Kyle just not getting this position right. Like, I could tell. But he got specific fit types of wide receivers. Jalen Hurd never played a professional snap other than a preseason game due to an injury. Deebo Samuel went on to be All-Pro, almost Triple Crown. Did he get the Triple Crown that year? Almost Triple Crown, All-Pro. Would look to be damn near a star. Like, and he was. I'm not gonna crap on Deebo. Just the clock started ticking, Father Time, and stuff started happening. So, yeah. So, Deebo, Jalen Hurts. So far we got Trent Taylor. We got Richie James, Dante Pettis. They're no longer here. Deebo Samuel's no longer here. Jalen Hurts gone. He's retired. Let's get to 2020. Their first round wide receiver was Brandon Ayuk at pick 25. First time Kyle said, you know what? Bump that. I'm going to get me a wide receiver in the 1st round. At pick 25. Brandon Ayuk, not an All-Pro. Couple of seasons back-to-back with 1,000 yards. Now, don't know what the hell is going on Brandon Ayuk. Dude's charging cats $100,000 to collab. I guess he broke. But at the end of the day, Brandon Ayuk, man, he was that guy. He was the guy that, he was a true wide receiver. He was a true X. He's a guy that could get open, guy that could create separation, guy that could run routes well, guy with like a crazy catch radius, and then a guy that got injured. Yep, and you haven't seen him since the Kansas City game. So yeah, man, Brandon Ayuk only, and then Juwan Jennings. So they got Juwan Jennings going to be a free agent this year. So 1st and 7th, that's kind of like a trend that we're starting to see. And I think the Niners need wide receivers, so it sounds like they might go 1st and 7th again. Ooh, we might go back to that 2020 year in 2026. Is it even year 2? All right, here we go. 21, no wide receivers taken in 2021. We just going to overlook that draft. 22, all right, Danny Gray, gone. 3rd round guy, Danny Gray, all right, gone. Couldn't, fastest guy on the team. Couldn't figure it out. Couldn't figure out how to block. Couldn't figure out how to do anything. I remember Danny Gray. I reached out to Danny Gray for a collab. That dude wanted to charge me $7,500. Bro, you not even a professional football player. How you going to charge me? Man, kiss my behind. All right, there we go. All right, 2023. Oh, man, I hate saying this guy's name. Ronnie Bell, 7th round guy. Listen, man, whatever you get in the 7th, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh well, project player. Like that's how I look at it. Ronnie Bell was the wide receiver in 2023, but a 7th round guy. I felt like Kyle felt in 2023 that the wide receiving room was pretty stacked and promising. You had Deebo, you had Brandon Ayuk here. It was pretty stacked. All right, here we go. 2024 wide receiver, 1st round. Ricky Pearsall was the 1st round pick of the San Francisco 49ers at pick 31. 4 picks after we picked this year, right? So pick 31, wide receiver, Ricky Pearsall. And then Kyle Shanahan said, bump that. I'm going to double up, get some speed. And Jacob Collins. Why? Because they had to replace Danny Gray's speed. They want that 4-3 guy. Interesting. This is interesting. This is interesting. So they got a guy. They got a guy in the 1st round. They got a guy in round 4, Jacob Collins, who's on the IR currently. Hopefully he returns this year, plays. And then last year's draft, they did get 2 wide receivers again. They got 2 wide receivers again. 4th round pick, Jordan Watkins, and then 7th round pick, Junior Bergen. So the Niners' tendencies and Kyle Shanahan's history tells us that they are going to draft a wide receiver in this draft, being that who is going to return to the 49ers this year. Right now, let's just say you don't get, it's Ricky Pearsall. Who the current wide receivers for the 49ers? Ricky Pearsall. Huh? Who? Nah, I didn't ask BA to collab. Somebody did, though. I didn't ask. I asked Danny Gray, too, when he was like a rookie. Dude was trying to charge me like 75 bands. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even respond to him. I left him on red. I know he read it. You know what I mean? But Ricky Pearsall, Jacob Cowing supposed to be returning, Junior Bergen. Those are 3 wide receivers, and then you got your last year free agent signing in Demarcus Robinson. He'll be returning. They got some future guys here. I just feel like Kyle Shanahan, the history is telling us he's going 2 wide receivers in this draft, and it's tough though because we only got 7 picks now. Unless we do some trading, that's where it can get a little bit interesting. But if we don't do any trading, that 27th pick may just be a wide receiver. It may be a guy like KC Concepcion. Crazy. I don't even want to think of that. But it's possible. It's possible because we've drafted as high as pick 25 on a wide receiver in Brandon Ayuk. So we had 2 first-round guys. Brandon Ayuk at 25, Ricky Pearsall at 31. 31 and 25, you put them together, you average them out, I guarantee you're going to get 27. Let's see. Let's do the math. Let's see what the math is. 31 plus 25 divided by 2 is 28. It's 20 freaking 8. 1 pick off. So maybe we don't go wide receiver at 27. Now, we were at pick 28, yeah, but maybe not. Maybe not at 20. There's no way we're drafting 3 wide receivers in this draft unless we trade back. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about Kyle Shanahan's draft tendencies, and that's what you're going to get. So we're definitely taking a wide receiver. We haven't drafted that yak guy. Now, I don't know if Jordan Watkins is going to be a yak guy. I don't know. So we gotta figure that out. I don't know if Jacob Cowing is going to be a yak guy. We know Ricky Pearsall is a yak guy. He could be a yak guy. He has an obsession with success. Does he have enough of those guys though to draft an X like a Denzel Boston or any one of those X types of wide receivers? Got to check out my list. Does he like that? Can he? Will he? That's the question. And then you got to factor in, he doesn't really draft in the trenches on the offensive side in the first round. He has. It's just not a tendency. Doesn't know. What is Kyle Shanahan's first round philosophy? That's what it's going to come down to. We got to look at this team and its structure. We know we need to get better on the offensive line, but we also need weapons, right? And we know that we need to be able to get to the quarterback, not like generating pressure and not sealing off on the pressure is terrible. So there's no point in generating pressure. Of course, you can make the quarterback hurry up, but if they hurry up and complete the pass, the pressure to me is insignificant. Right? Now, if you made the quarterback hurry up and throw an incomplete pass, now we talking. I don't know, man. I don't know. So, Faithful, what does this history tell you? From the way we just watched Kyle Shanahan draft, what does this history tell you? All right. Now, I see some questions out here. Let's get to this chat, man. Where's my wide receiver crowd? Like, where are you? Do you think we're going to go wide receiver? All right. If not, whatever. Sound off. Type it in the chat. Do you think at pick 27 we go wide receiver? If you're a person watching the show live or watching the show later on, let me know. Put in the chat, WR. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, if you're an edge person, you feel we going edge, put it in the chat, edge. All right? And then my O-line gang led by Cinnamon Kiss, because she just came up here and said that pick 27, the Niners better draft an offensive tackle, and she named the tackles. She named Freeland out of Georgia, right? She said, go get him. Go get the big fella out of Georgia. Listen, yes, whatever. They got to do something. You know what I mean? They got to do something. All right. We got a super chat contribution right here from my man Silent. He says Shanahan has been solid on round 1, round 2 wide receivers. Okay. Now, if you want Deebo, if you're looking for the Deebo replacement, it's this guy right here, Chris Bell, out of Louisville. If you're looking for the Deebo replacement, why? He's bigger than Deebo. The body structure is different, but as far as what he's able to do, now he's a better route runner and a better separator, and he's on my top 10 list. Yes, he's 6'2", 220, physical. Dude looking to initiate catch. Dude looking to run you over. I don't know if he's going to be a first-round guy at 27, but I got him as a first-round guy. Like, I have him as a first-round guy. I feel like, you know how we reached up and got Ricky Pearsall at 31 and Brandon Ayuk at 25? I wouldn't be mad if Kyle Shanahan reached and got Chris Bell at 27. I damn sure wouldn't. Dang, it's a lot of freaking... there's a lot of offensive line in here. I love it. So Silent, I like this, man. If you look at the first and second round wide receivers, there are more hits than they were misses, in my opinion. First and second round, more hits than misses. I think the only miss in the second round was Dante Pettis, if I'm not mistaken. The only miss in the second round was Dante Pettis. You know what I'm saying? Tate gonna be gone. Lemon's gonna be gone. Those guys are gonna be gone early. Those guys are like top 10, top 15 guys. We don't have a top 15 pick, so it's unfortunate. Those guys are gonna be gone. I see edge up there, wide receiver. I think Boats and I are kind of like on the same page here, right? We need a guy that can get open. That way, when Brock throws the ball, it's there, right? It's tough because we don't necessarily. You know how we be like, we know how we'll be like, Brock, throw the damn ball, and then when you watch the film, oh, nobody was open. That's what the wide receivers would do. DeMarcus, what's going on, bro? He says Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama. Yo, to me, when it comes to Bernard, he is the safe pick. He is a guy that just does everything good, right? Nothing really flashes to me about him. Nothing flashes. Nothing flashy. But as far as catches, he can catch the ball. As far as routes, he can run routes. He's like just overall a good wide receiver. But I still got him with a second round grade. I truly do. DJ Malone. Although I'd be okay with safety at 27. I'd be okay with specific safety at 27. Yeah. That's the kid out of Toledo. Emmanuel McNeil Warren. And there's some other safeties out there. Don't get it twisted. My top 10 is out here. But at 27, I would take a flyer. I would reach up to go grab him. You know what I'm saying? Oscar, TJ Parker falls. Shanny is going edge. TJ Parker, edge rusher out of Clemson. You ain't never lied. This is another big freaking fella out there on the edge. And where is he on my top 10? I'm going to be working on my dagger. He's number 4 on my top 10. 6'3", 265, 16 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 15.5% pass rush win rate. All right. Yeah, man. I mean, he's gonna be phenomenal out there. And you know, my comp for him is Jalen Phillips, free agent Jalen Phillips. He's going in the first round. Here's where he's probably gonna end up with the Lions. They're gonna get another stud. They're just gonna get another stud out there. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. But if he does fall, I'm about that life. I'm not gonna lie. I'm about that life. I'm definitely about that life for sure. All right, Howdy says Chris Brazil, 6'4", 200 pounds. He's gonna fly up the draft boards. I don't. Depending on how well he tests, his film is great though. I don't know how great he is as a run blocker though. I think for the 49ers that might be a problem. But listen, I think he's 6'5" too. By the way, Howdy. I think he's 6'5". 6'5". He's probably gonna run like a 4.3, 4.4 in the 40 time. He's gonna be phenomenal Big guy, big radius, catch radius, runs good routes. I like the routes that he's able to get open in the end zone. He kind of gives you those Jawan Jennings routes, but quicker, faster. He gets to the point, gets to the route faster. And that fade route is there because he can go up and high point the ball. So yeah, like kind of like a Mike Evans, but faster. Now that I think about it, you know what I'm saying? That's what Chris Brazil is gonna end up being. All right. I truly do. Now, listen, we're going to have plenty of draft talk. We're going to have plenty of free agent talk. So shout out everybody that rocked out with your boy Breezie on this Friday. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be it's going to be a long ride. We got the NFL Combine coming up next week. That's going to be fun to watch. I'm going to be breaking stuff down every single day from the NFL Combine. You know what I mean? Then that's just where it is. All right. If the draft was tonight, here's where my money is going at pick 27. Here's where it's going. With the 27th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select You ready? Defensive lineman Lee Hunter, Texas Tech. Let's go! Ah, man, listen, that's a burst ball of energy coming up the middle. I always wanted a defensive tackle that could get to the quarterback. So I just feel like quickest way to the quarterback is from a straight line opposed to the edge. We talk about getting these edge rushers and things like that. But man, you get that fast bowling ball of hot fireball of energy coming up the middle. Just could get to the quarterback. Give it to me, baby. Hey, the sacks weren't high, but the rush win rate is high. That's all I need. That means the kid plays with a phenomenal motor. And I know people going to be like, what? No, trust me, man. Trust me. I really do think it could be a guy like him out of Texas Tech Raiders. Yeah, I love Lee Hunter. All right, Oscar, Breezy, thoughts on going cornerback at 27? Whew. I'm not wowed by the corners, and I don't think that the Niners necessarily need a first-round corner in this draft. I mean, I'm excited to see what Raheem Morris and Gray does with the guys that we have, Renardo Green, and I'm assuming that these guys remain on the roster. Even Darrell Luter Jr., I think the kid Jacob Robinson should be returning off of IR. So I'm kind of excited to see. I'm not saying that they don't address corner, but, you know, just looking at my cornerbacks list, I mean, Avion Terrell would be a great guy. Keith Abney II would be a great guy. Colton Hood would be a great guy. D'Angelo Pons would be a great guy. At 27, though, I mean, if it's not the kid Mansour Delane out of LSU, which I know he's going to go early, like what type of corner are we looking? It's outside, man, press, outside zone. Like, are we running zone? Are we running man? It's fit. That's why I think if we go more man, it's got to be between Mansour, Avion Terrell. I like Brandon Cease out of South Carolina. But if we go in zone, then it's Keith Abney, Colton Hood, D'Angelo Pons, Chris Johnson. Nobody's talking about Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. It's a playmaker, zone playmaker. Like, the guy understands football. He knows where to be, not to get penalties. There's just so many different guys, but it all depends on what the hell we running. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? What type of defense is it going to be? Man concepts, zone concepts, heavily man, heavily zone. I don't know. But I feel like the guys we got, I really truly feel like Renardo Green struggles in zone, but he's pretty damn good in man. Like, can we go man? Can we go zone? I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know if the DB is going to be there, but if it is, you say we need a ball hawk, we got to play man. We got to listen. I like Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson had 4 or 5 interceptions this year. Yeah, give me him. He's him. That's the guy. 4 interceptions, baby. Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. Nobody's talking about him because he went to San Diego State, man. Listen, man, check out the list. If you're a member of the Breezy Bunch crew, the link is right there in the community tab. All you got to do is click on it, add your email to the joint. What a great show. Again, round of applause to everybody that's here for tuning in with me on this Friday. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure your notifications are on, all right? Because I'm going to be releasing some videos that I've recorded throughout the weekend. So make sure you guys check those out. Make sure you like them. And if you're new to the channel, click on subscribe. Thank you to all the people that gave super chats. Thank you to all the people that have subscribed to the channel. Love y'all. Stay up. Keep it faithful to the bay.
What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.